and welcome to Chentex Multimedia live stream for Australian Indian radio production. Well, right now, I'd like to welcome you all to this show on the 16th day of March 2021. Hey, the time is flying past, isn't it? So we already passed the 15th, past the midway mark of this month into March and really marching on. Well, right now today we have lots to talk about. Premier is talking about, will be joining us with the vaccination update. We will go to Indian Senior Citizens Association and look at their International Women's Day celebration. We'll be welcoming into the studio Angel Ram of AusIndia Matrimony to give us an update about the services and that website, and what the website offers and how and what people can expect by getting into that website. All that and much, much more with all the latest news happening as well. But first of all, let's take a look at what the weather has in store for us for today. With that, let's welcome Dilraj.
Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 23 degree. Brisbane area is cloudy with medium chances of rain, most likely during the afternoon and evening. Wind southerly 15 to 25 km per hour, turning southeasterly 20 to 30 km per hour during the day. Fire danger is low to moderate. Sun protection is recommended till 3:30 and UV index is predicted to reach 10, that is very high. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much for that update, Dilraj. And yes, it is a beautiful day out there when we look at it. And right now, let's go to some news in brief. Let's take a quick look at the headlines for today before we join the Premier for that update on the vaccination and what's happening with that. So, today the top stories we look in this update is thousands of people have marched across Australia, and they've all been calling for justice for women. And a hotel quarantine guard who tested positive to coronavirus in Sydney has the UK strain. Several women have spoken out about the experiences in the sex cult in the regional New South Wales. And Taylor Swift has won Album of the Year in this year's Grammy Awards. March for Justice, thousands marched at the rallies around Australia to vote. Anger in violence of inequality been an historic day around Australia with thousands of people standing up to say enough on sexual harassment, abuse and violence against women, and to be deemed governments to do more to protect them. Prominent women led the charge calling to end of sexism and gendered violence. Marie Spain did not attend March for Justice rally. Marie Spain is the Minister for Women. Why she and Prime Minister did not attend the March for Justice rally. So March for Justice organizer Janine Henry on what she hopes will be achieved out of the march. Janine, who organised the rally at Parliament House, says, so what she hopes to get out of the march and what will the rally actually achieve. Grace Tame and Dr. Tijana Goreng on the meaning of March for Justice for them, and more than for a century Australian women have publicly demonstrated the right to vote, for equal pay and for protection from male violence. Australian of the Year Grace Tame took part in the Hobart March, and the academic Dr. Jandra Goreng took part in Canberra marches. One of the women's story in today's March for Justice in dozens of locations across Australia. So women come out in the thousands to make their voices heard. They called on government to address sexual violence and the mistreatment of women. Raveen Hunjam joined the 25-year-old Saxon Mullins at the march in the Parliament House in Canberra. Why the delay on delivery of AstraZeneca vaccines? The delayed delivery of extra vaccine is causing problem. Bold plans to vaccinate millions of Australians. Neighbours, a new deal has been struck to the vaccine in those in Indo-Pacific who otherwise would be left out until 2023. Cellulist Yo-Yo Ma for COVID-19 vaccine recipients. Famous cellulist Yo-Yo Ma treated newly vaccinated resident, a performer, after getting his second COVID-19 shot. The system is broken. Brittany Higgins delivers a powerful call for action, and Liberal staffer addressed hundreds at the March for Justice, which was a demonstration held at the Parliament House in Canberra. And evil thrives in silence. Sexual abuse survivor Grace Tame speaks in Hobart. Australian of the Year Grace Tame spoke in front of hundreds of protesters at March for Women Justice in Hobart. Now to finance. Though the Australian economy is slowly recovering, unemployment remains an issue, particularly for women. And Malcolm Turnbull puts his weight behind increasing the super guarantee. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull throws his support behind the industry super and its report, and why the government should lift the compulsory super rate. And consumer advocate Choice slams the wind back of the responsible lending laws. Choice boss Alan Kirkland about the consumers group fight against winding back the responsible lending laws. And the artists and rock stars are making millions of dollars from NFT videos. They may have been around for years, but the market for non-fungible tokens has now exploded, and the benefits for creators of digital art are lucrative. Enslaved shows how a sex slave cult has been operating in plain sight right here in Australia. Vulnerable young women cut out for their families, with the very aspect of their lives controlled, even turned into slaves. Now some of those who escaped are speaking out to warn others. The program reveals how this cult has been recruiting and exploiting women for years. Now authorities are calling for health. And now to world news. Beijing choked in dust storm amid heavy northwest winds. The Chinese capital was shrouded with thick brown dust as a result of heavy winds blowing from the Gobi Desert and parts of northwestern China, in what the country's meteorological agency is calling the biggest sandstorm in a decade. While dozens were killed in a deadly clash in Myanmar, protests have vowed to keep up their fight despite the escalating violence. So those are some of the breaking news for today. Well, of course, today we are also going to be talking to Angel Ram from Oz Matrimony, and we'll see what she has launched and what her website is going to be doing and what it delivers. So, ladies and gentlemen, listening to Australian Indian Radio, and today we have a very special guest on the show with us, and it is wonderful to have the company. And with that, we'd like to welcome on the show Angel Ram from AusIndia Matrimony. Angel, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Good morning.
And thank you very much for joining us with the show. And right now, we'd like to, talk about this AusIndiaMatrimony.com. And of course, it is exciting news of what you're doing out there, and it is probably very essential in today's day and age as well. So, how did this website get started?
Hi. I was an advisor for Griffith University for many students. I changed many lives, student lives in Queensland. After completing my contract, many community, so from our community, they ask, there's an issue within our community. Parents are worried that their children are not getting married because they were brought up in two different cultures. So can you please create a platform? So at that time, I introduced austamilmatrimony.com.au. I allowed only Tamil parents and singles to create profiles, but one or two Telugu community people created profiles and they got married through the website. So due to request from the Indian community, I introduced ausindiamatrimony.com.au recently. That's the story behind this project.
I think that's wonderful that, not only Tamil, Telugu, and everyone saw AusIndia, which is very good. I think it's well done that you have embraced all. Now, looking at website and everything, so, how does all this work?
Okay, the main purpose of the website is maintaining privacy of each member. So everyone has to create a profile. Once they create a profile, they will get only matching profiles, even without contact details. So both parties accept, ready to communicate, then only the website will give the contact details. There's no public searching for this website due to privacy of each member. So the website is very basically maintaining privacy of each member. That's what I want to focus on, that website.
And that is very important that you keep the privacy there as well, and that the security of the website is maintained, which is very good. So if someone is interested, how do they join in?
Okay, they have an online form. They have to complete. Once they complete, I have to verify the record. Once I verify the record, they will become an active member. So then they have to take action within the website.
Okay, so there is a verification process which you monitor, which is very important because in this day and age with so many things happening online, and many times people are a bit worried about security and there's things like identity theft and other things as
That's
well
right.
that are happening. So for joining, once people join in, and is there any fee or how upon joining?
Okay, public can join before 30th of June. If they join, they'll get free membership for 6 months. After that, if they join, they will pay only $50 per year. That's only I charge an admin fee to run the cost of the website. If a person is living in India, they pay only $25 per year. That is after 30th of June. So basically what I'm saying is, if they join before 30th of June, they pay only they get free membership. After 30th of June, they pay $50 per year. So it's a very minimum fee, admin fee only.
Okay, so the fee is not that great. So looking at, you mentioned about India. So do we have many people joining in from India? And, why was there a special rate from India?
So because I think if I give a special rate for Indian community, then there's an affordable rate, so they will join. So I can connect parents from Australia to Indian parents. So that's the way I think.
Okay, so how long has this website been running now?
Okay, this website is run only for the last 9 months. It's not a very old project. It's only 9 months old project. AusIndia Matrimony is doing very well. That's been published for more than 3 years.
Okay, so this is not something which has been there for a very long time, but it's still there, tried and tested, and it is new and fresh, and so it's got all the securities built into it that people would normally want. Just very quickly, I know that you have explained it, but just take us through if someone's interested. Okay, they join in and they put in their profile. What happens then?
So once they put a profile, I go through the record. Once I verify, they get a matching profiles. Once they get the matching profile, their responsibility is to go through each profile and check in Australia, means which city they are living. If they are interested, they express interest. Other party will get an email. Once the other party accepts, then only you will get the contact details. Then both parties will start communicating. I won't interfere with that communication part. So my job is to give enough matches for them. That's all my job. And within the website, there are so many security features. They can even hide a record if they think that I don't like this record at all. Because even though I'm giving perfect matches, in their mind, they know the exact partner they like. So they are the one going through each record and hide some records. And they can even chat with the member without showing their email address. So website allows them to chat and get enough information without showing their email address. That will maintain their privacy. Once they are happy, then they can go to the next stage of expressing interest. So there are a few stages within the website to maintain the privacy of each member.
Okay, that is very important as well, the privacy. And as you have mentioned that, there are certain details if people are not comfortable with, they can hide that as well. Now, what happens in the case if someone, lodges a complaint with you about someone? Is there any way of, blocking anyone who's...
Yes, time to time, yes. Once if I receive a record from anyone or written email, I make sure I contact them. And if they don't provide enough evidence, we will block within 24 hours. The maximum time we will give is 24 hours.
And that is once again very wonderful and very credible. Angel, just in closing, thank you very much for sharing that information with us. Is there anything that you would like to add in conclusion?
Okay, in terms of security, I have implemented the most advanced features of security. And I have even employed a company to monitor the website for insurance purposes, according to their requirement. I have run the website for several reports and produced all the reports that they requested. So in terms of security features, I'm very happy that I have done a good job. And I'm the only one maintaining the database due to privacy of each member. So their data is within my hand. There are no employees in terms of database and no volunteers for this project due to privacy of each member. So if they want to contact me, contact us under my website, my details are there. Otherwise, call me on 0415-150-483 or my landline number 07-3162-00036. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, www.ausindiamatrimony.com.au, connecting Indian brides and grooms together. Secure and confidential site operating from Australia, and as mentioned, only registered members with matching profiles can view other members' details. Contact details will be exchanged only after both parties agree to talk, and the profiles on the database are not available for public viewing. So if you're looking for a secure and safe website, and if you're looking for your partner online, AusIndiaMatrimony.com.au is the way to go. Angela, once again, thank you so much for being on the show and explaining all the details.
Thank you very much for your time, Umesh. Bye.
Bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you are, all about AusIndiaMatrimony.com, and once again, a very good platform for those in need. Well, right now we'll move on with the news, and as I mentioned before that today, we will look at the update of what's happening with the COVID-19 vaccination in terms of Queensland. So let's take a look at that report. We are ready.
So good morning Queensland and good morning Gold Coast. So in some further good news overnight, we have 0 community cases, which is fantastic. We have 2 cases in hotel quarantine. So once again, that's great news, and we're feeling a little bit relieved today. We have 37 active cases. Yesterday there were over 7,000 tests, and our total number, 7,000 tests. And in relation to the vaccine, we have in total 21,861. So in relation to the PA doctor, can we say a few things about that? So out of the 400 contacts that we have, 58% are negative so far, which is wonderful news. Now, because we had the incident at the Hotel Grand Chancellor, and Dr. Bennett will talk a little bit more about that, we will be extending for another 72 hours those provisions we have put in place across Greater Brisbane. So that applies to the hospitals in Greater Brisbane, the aged care facilities and the disability services. So we will be able to update everyone on Friday, and fingers crossed it'll be good news, and that would then mean on the weekend people would be able to go and see their loved ones. So we're just asking the community to be patient for another 72 hours, just whilst we finalise all of this data and get the test results in. In relation to issues I discussed yesterday about Papua New Guinea, I had a discussion with the Prime Minister last night. We'll be speaking later on again today, and I we had a very good discussion, but I'm not going to go into any further details until I get an update later on today. But I can say that both the state and the federal government are treating the issues of infections in Papua New Guinea very seriously, and I just want to reassure the Queensland public that I said yesterday that I would speak with the Prime Minister, and I did that. So today it was great to come down here and see Zoe and the amazing staff here at the Gold Coast University Hospital. And we also have with us Dr. Gerard, who will be speaking with you. And of course, he was one of the first doctors that were treating the COVID patients that first came to this hospital about a year ago. And how far we've come in a year. So today Zoe received her second vaccine. We hope over the next 2 weeks we will complete the first dose of vaccination for that 1A category and be able to move on to 1B. And of course 1B is both Commonwealth and state responsibility as well, and it does depend on the dosage that we receive. So look, that's wonderful news to see Zoe and the other people who are police officers, frontline health staff, now getting that second dose of the vaccine. So look, I'll hand over to Dr. Bennett, then we've got Dr. Gerard and the Health Minister, and then we're happy to answer a few quick questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Premier. Good morning, everyone. As the Premier indicated, with respect to the healthcare worker at the PA, we're feeling very reassured about those circumstances and how they're unfolding. Both the Hospital and Health Service has contacted over 1,000 people to determine whether they're contacts or not, and as the Premier said, those that have been determined to be close contacts, with 58% of those have already tested negative. So that's really good news, and we're very reassured by that. But with respect to the Hotel Grand Chancellor incident, we've still got some information to work through, and those events are still unfolding. So yesterday what I can tell you is that all the staff who worked through that period of risk from the 5th to the 9th of March have been tested yesterday. All the guests who have left the hotel since the 1st of March have been contacted as well and requested to isolate and get tested. And then those guests who are still in the hotel, who had their quarantine period extended for 72 hours if they were going to leave, of those guests we will need to require those who stayed on level 1 during that period of risk will need to have their quarantine extended for 14 days from the 9th of March, unfortunately. But for all those others, a decision will be made tomorrow. As we said, we had the hotel in lockdown for 72 hours. That finishes tomorrow at midday, and a decision will be made based on the results that come in from all the testing that's being done about what the risk is and whether those other guests can be released if they've finished their quarantine period. So as far as the review of the incident goes, the CCTV footage hasn't shown any clear breach of any kind. Nothing significant, and I note in the media as well that we've seen something similar in New South Wales, and I think that just indicates the smallest things. This is a highly infectious virus, particularly in some people. You've heard the term super spreaders, and I think what we mean when we say that is that some people very readily transmit the virus due to a number of factors, not just any one. So we have not as yet identified any significant breach, but that'll keep being reviewed. But the most important thing is the public health work and the follow-up, which will continue. I do just want to mention the New South Wales quarantine worker case as well. So we are asking all Queensland residents or people who've come to Queensland from New South Wales, please, if you've been in New South Wales recently, please check their website for the information about their locations of risk. And call 13 Health if you need advice, and we need you to follow that advice, particularly if you've been in any of those areas of exposure. So I just ask Queensland residents to do that, or anyone in Queensland who's been in Sydney during that risk period. Thank you very much, and I'll hand over to the Minister.
And thank you very much for that live update there of the coronavirus situation, and of course of the vaccination and everything. So, the good news is that it seems to be under control, and that the authorities are on top of things with the contact tracing and everything else. Well, right now it's time for a commercial break.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
Real estate is the world, and don't forget that tomorrow we'll bring to you the live update with Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty right here on this studio, looking at all the property trends and what's happening. And as we know, and you would have heard in the news already, that the market is very, very hot. There's lots of activities in the market. So what is it like? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Where are the good spots and all that? So all that with a live interview, which is going to happen right here tomorrow. Well, right now we'll go to the International Women's Day celebration of the Indian Senior Citizens Association, and this took place on Saturday. And of course, at the function, at the event, Tida Tachal, the president, welcomed everybody. And of course, Mrs. Ram Dulari, mother of very famous editor of Fiji Times, Mr. Vijendra, and his mum celebrated 100 years. So there she is. And been introduced by Jatish Puran. So a very special certificate presented to her on celebrating her 100th birthday, and been very active and very strong, even though she has a little bit of amputation on her leg. That's why she is on the chair. And the function of the event included some live singing, of course, lots of speeches and reflections from people and dancers. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was that wonderful celebration of the event, which was the International Women's Day celebration by Indian Senior Citizen Association and ACTA Women's Group. And they will be partnering with Gaupio, Queensland, to take part in the Gurmeet Divas, which will be held on 14th of May. Well, right now, let's take a look at some of the functions and events taking place right here in and around Brisbane. So there was all the functions and events taking place in and around Brisbane. For all up-to-date information, you can visit our website, and of course you can subscribe to our newsletter which goes out every Friday, and of course pick up the latest copy of Brisbane Indian Times which is out and about, and we have been noticing people with the Brisbane Indian Times in their hands over the weekend already, so that it is good. The March issue is out. It's a bumper issue, lots of functions and events covered in that, and of course we now getting ready for the next issue, so don't leave it till late. If you have any submissions, please make sure you forward that, and if you like to secure your spot for advertising, now is the time to contact us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow, it's goodbye. Don't forget that tomorrow we'll bring to you the real estate update with Usha Chandra. Well, until tomorrow, please, enjoy the rest of the day, and most importantly, remain safe. We'll see you all tomorrow. It's always so good to see you.